Hey guys, what's up? John here. Time for an update. So since last update, I've done many different tasks. One of them is this staircase. So let me provide you with closer look at my work. So I actually ordered a big slab that I actually cut in pieces. So these threads are custom cut, and then I stained those and applied two clear coats, routed the edges, sanded it, and then of course assembled it all together. Everything is glued together. I used whatever material was available at local supply stores. For example, these baseboard trims, those were pretty expensive, but they are made out of real wood. I actually screwed it all in using little screws instead of trim nails because I don't own the finished nail gun. All these risers, threads, trims, all that, all these are glued to the walls and to the structure, so it shouldn't be squeaking, never. I wanted to make sure that these stairs will never squeak. So what I'm working on right now, I'm actually patching all the screw holes and sand it to make sure there's no seams in between this baseboard trim and these little boards, these little triangles that I added here. So I want to make sure that there is no seams, visible seams, so it looks like one piece. And then of course it all gets painted white. So that's the current stage of my stairs build. And now let me walk you through the rest of the jobs that I've done in the past month. From this point on, I'm gonna voice over the video because I've got so much footage, it'd be shame to ruin it with my ugly face in it. I've got tons of time-lapse clips and POV clips as well. Going through all these clips and edit them is just as much work as the actual work itself. Alright, back to the stairs. I've been trying to figure out what kind of wood, what kind of trim I'm gonna use to dress up the frame with. Obviously, the trim selection is not as vast here in Czechia as it is at Lowe's or Home Depot in USA. If I really wanted to make it look American style, I would need to have the moldings custom made or routed myself, which would mean I would have to purchase expensive router and router bits, but I didn't want to be spending all that money on it, so I wanted to do it with whatever is available at the supply stores. Because these bigger trims are not commonly used here, there is literally only one baseboard trim available in the stores that was over 4 inches tall and made of real wood, and that's what I'm using here. Pretty costly too, $16 per 8-foot piece. All the other trims are really small in height and made out of MDF. The trims also don't come in longer lengths than 8 feet, so I can just forget searching for longer pieces to be able to do the whole side out of one piece. The same as for the baseboards applies to the crown moldings as well. The crown moldings in bigger sizes are not available in the stores. They're only available online and made out of polyurethane or styrofoam. If I wanted to have a real wood crown moldings, I would need to have them custom made or make it myself, and they would cost at least twice as much. So I used these baseboards for the stringers and matched the thickness to regular plain boards to achieve required width, trying to make it as simple as possible to cut costs to a minimum. If I won't be able to achieve seamless appearance at this condo, I'm gonna try something else at the remaining 2 condos. I will probably just purchase wider boards about 12 inches, 30 centimeters, and I will route the edges myself. I will get better router than what I got right now and bigger bits, and I will custom make all these moldings myself. The same boards I used for the stringers I also used for the risers. Custom cut it to make it fit precisely so I don't have the gaps too big to avoid using too much wood filler. Here I'm preparing all the pieces for the dry fit before I actually glue it together. First I want to make sure everything fits, and after all the pieces are cut and in place, then I would glue it. As I was slowly working my way up, I had little trouble with cutting the correct angles. Adjusting these angles can sometimes be tricky, just making sure I don't hurt myself while using all these tools the professional way. professional. Let me demonstrate that even though I cut it a little bit too much, it's not gonna be visible from here because this has like a 1/2 inch overhang and it's gonna be like this. So this is covered, and from this side, this piece is gonna cover it. So it's fine. The top is flush angle, like that. Easy does it. I'm just having a blast, man, because since I started working on this house, the real estate prices rose by, I don't know, 30% since I bought the house. Right now, I can sell each unit for about $260,000. One unit is paying for my expenses, and the other 2 units are gonna be my clean profit. Don't try this at home because I'm a professional. Shit. It's not exactly the way it's supposed to be. Again and again. Takes way too long, man. Right, got 2 more here, and then I'm going up. I'm still gonna glue it together, so the glue is gonna fill it in. So eventually I got all the way upstairs, got all the trim ready, and then I had the slab for the treads delivered. This was actually manufactured slab, sort of like a butcher block. It's actually called edge grain butcher block. I ordered it online and it cost me about 400 bucks. I had to have it split in half because the slab would otherwise be too large for the transport and too heavy to carry it inside the house, as well as maneuvering it around. But even when cut in two pieces, it still weighed 130 pounds, 150 pounds respectively. I wouldn't be able to carry it by myself, so I asked my good neighbor for help. To je vypočítané.
No, máš vypočítané.
So the slab was in and now I can actually start cutting it. I double checked all the thread sizes to make sure I cut it correctly. I had no room for error. I had the slab precisely sized for my 14 steps plus 3 extra pieces for window sills. That was gonna use the entire slab and there was not gonna be anything left for repairs. I also needed to cut it soon after delivery so it doesn't absorb the air moisture which would cause it to deform. These slabs are humidity sensitive and they will start bending on their own if it's not sealed, polished and fixed in place soon after it leaves the mill facility. I learned the hard way back in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I also had this butcher block delivered for the kitchen island and I left it untreated for weeks and it totally lost its shape. Then I had to take some extra steps to straighten it back again. So because I didn't want to go through this again, I cut it, routed the edges, sanded it, stained it and also applied one clear coat the very next day after delivery. Unfucking believable. Beautiful. The cutting itself was relatively easy and I had it cut in just a couple of hours. Now, because I needed to round the edges, I purchased the cheapest router that was available in the store. It cost me roughly 50 bucks and I got some bits for it too. With that, I made the edges nice round 1/4 inch radius. I also bought the cheapest palm sander that was for $19 so I don't waste much time sanding it by hand. Should I vacuum it? Do I have a room for a vacuum cleaner? Jock! It's unplugged. John? All day jogging. Alright. Let's do this. All the sides, so we don't get squeaky. Excellent. Uh-oh. I hit a screw. I'll glue this drywall to it as well. The sides, bottom, side. Should be good enough. Good. Push it in like that. just glowing in the light. 뭐요? One down. Alright, so even though I rushed through the process as fast as I could, the blocks started bending anyway, and I ended up using the carpentry clamp to press it down to straighten it up and secure it to the staircase frame. Alright, so that's it for the stairs for now. I'm gonna finish filling the holes, caulking and painting once I'm done with this video. From the remaining wood, I made these window sills. Nice finishing touch, even though I had little trouble how I'm actually gonna secure it down. I didn't want to glue it down because it would be very difficult to pull it out in case you want to replace it in the future. So I was gonna just secure it down with screws, which will also help with straightening it and keeping it flat. So these actually come free. I just stained it and clear coated as well. Same in here in the bathroom. Let's move on because I've done some more jobs that are essential for selling this house. So actually prior working with the wood, I needed to finish some work outside. I had to finalize the styrofoam insulation install to get it ready for the stucco finish. I have stucco guys lined up and they should start working on it any day now. It took me about a week as weather permitted to finish the foundation wall perimeter and it cost me about $2,000. I needed to shape each styrofoam block individually to even out the crooked old walls. I cut it roughly with my hot wire saw and then I used chainsaw for tweaking it. After that I used tons of polyurethane spray foam to make sure it sticks well. foam kinda looks like whipped cream. Whipped cream holding my house together now. Alright, so this was like the worst part to work on because of crawling around the house on my knees all the time, working the uneven walls and details. More tedious work followed applying the reinforcing mesh around the thresholds and basement vents. Total of 12 thresholds and 12 basement vents. Couldn't wait till this was behind me so I could then apply the reinforcing mesh around the entire house perimeter and anchor it to the wall. As soon as I finished the reinforcing mesh, I started digging the hole for the gas pipe relocation. This was pretty exciting moment because it took me 12 months to go through the bureaucracy process to have this pipe relocated. I need a bunch of approvals and contracts. I honestly thought I'm gonna have gas in my house last summer, not 1 year later. Alright, so I started preparing the hole for the gas hookup. This is gonna get deleted and rerouted over here. This is where the main valve is gonna be. And the gas company is supposed to come Friday to hook it up. And I started digging, and there's like this big block of concrete that I need to break up. So I borrowed from my neighbor this jackhammer electric, which is pretty powerful. I'm trying to break it up. I started working on the paperwork in April 2020, and here I am, 13 months later, finally digging the hole to have the 10-foot pipe stretched from the curbside to the house. And I still don't have gas at this moment because I still need to wait till the pipe's GPS coordinates gets recorded at the Register of Deeds. The delay was not a deal breaker anyway because I was also delayed with the facade install thanks to all these incompetent contractors. So in the end, it all kind of works out. In the meantime, I started anchoring the styrofoam insulation blocks to the wall. Now here's what happened during drilling. I had this little mishap. When I pulled the drill out the hole underneath the door, a stream of water bursted out. In the beginning, I was really confused about where the water came from. I thought it came from the basement pushing up the walls. But then I realized I actually drilled through one of the PEX pipes of my underfloor heating. Luckily, I was able to repair the damage. I cut out section of the concrete, located the hole, and replaced it with a coupler fitting. Anyway, the reason I'm anchoring the insulation over the reinforcing mesh is because it's gonna need to be strong enough to support the weight of a brick or stone veneer that I'm gonna apply later to it. So then I applied 2 coats of sealer to prevent future water damage, and then finally the gas contractor came to connect the goddamn pipe. I had 2 estimates done. One of the companies was not very cooperative. They were not gonna be available till the end of summer, and they were gonna charge me twice as much as these guys, who executed on this job in timely manner, and it cost me roughly $1,500. I was pretty blown away by the sophisticated technology they were using. They have these special fittings getting welded with a smart welder. 2 wires gets connected to the fitting, then the guy just scans the barcode on the fitting, and the welder machine automatically adjusted the welding time and temperature. Alright, I finally had the gas connection hooked up. I'm pretty happy about it. Time to backfill the hole. So I backfilled the hole, rented a dirt compactor, and put all the curb pieces back together, sort of the way it was there before. I'm glad that there's no gas pipe sticking out of the ground anymore, because there's gonna be a sidewalk in that area later on. And then I finally got to level the rest of the yard. Okay, so I could finally walk around the house without the constant tripping over piles of dirt and bricks and rocks. So I went ahead and installed the gas meter box where the 3 gas meters are gonna be located for all 3 units. I also needed to get ready some of the electrical. I set in place all the electrical boxes for the entrance lights, switches and doorbells. Also finished connecting the main power connections and prepared power meter boxes where the main circuit breakers and the clocks are located. Oh man, I'm finally getting to the end of this video update. I just went through 19 hours of video footage, trying to condense it as much as I could to get it down to under 45 minutes. So at last, I also done some painting. I moved my stuff from one room to another so I could finish painting all the rooms upstairs, and I also painted all the rooms downstairs. So what I did in here, in the living area, I actually painted all the walls, 1 coat of primer and 1 coat of paint, and I'm still gonna paint it one more time after all the trim is done around those doors. That's actually also what I did, and I routed the edges, and that's how I'm gonna fit these door trims. While I work, I also create lots of mess. All the tools laying around, I just toss it somewhere and then I can't find it. So this is it for today's epic update. Took me 3 days to edit it. Now I need to wait till the stucco contractor is gonna be available to finish the facade and the gas contractor to install my gas heater. Only after that I can finalize the subsidy for insulation application to get reimbursed some of the expenses. From that money I'll be finishing the parking lot and other things. To learn more, please visit my blog where I share more details in my recent post. And as always, stay tuned for future episodes. Peace.